Men of Reddit. What do women do that they think is okay but is actually creepy? All of us have our fair share of creepy encounters with people. Some people think that everything they do is acceptable, but end up annoying or creeping people out. Today, we're going to look at some Reddit stories about creepy things that women do that they think are okay. So let's read the first one. As a gay man, when they assume I'm going to be their friend or bestie, or really just sexually harass me, like literally spank me, but it's okay because you're gay. Talk about respecting boundaries. The next person has a long list of creepy encounters with women. Guess he's been through a lot. I'm sure I've told this story on Reddit a few times, but I had a few incidents as an Uber driver back in the day that were kind of f***ed up in this regard. The first, I did a 3 a.m. pickup of like 6 people in my Honda Civic. It was late, and it was going to be my last ride for the night. The woman sitting behind me started running her fingers through my hair kind of seductively, which kind of bothered me due to the fact that if the roles were reversed, I'd rightly get charged with sexual assault. But I also didn't tell her to stop, either because I internally maybe got a little turned on, or I felt uncomfortable saying something in the moment. The second, I picked up a couple of really attractive women who looked like they were going out dancing. They asked me, as a lot of people did at that time, what my craziest experience driving someone was. I went with the story above, and how bothersome it was as far as the power dynamic. The woman sitting in the passenger seat says something along the lines of, I bet that's probably more bothersome if the person doing it is ugly or something. Which, I don't know, maybe? But then she asked me if I thought she was hot. I didn't want to say anything sexually harassing to her, so I went neutralish. You do look nice tonight. She asked me if I thought her friend in the back seat was hot. I gave kind of the same answer, and she replies with asking if it would bother me if someone hot like her friend did the same thing to me, and before I could answer, her friend starts running her fingers through my hair seductively for about a minute or two, and then they both kind of chuckled after she stopped. I dropped them off, and that was that. The third picked up a guy, his girlfriend, and her friend. Same situation, looked like they were going out to the clubs for the night. They asked the same question as the previous instance, and I started to go into basically the first story into the second. Out of nowhere, her friend starts playing with my hair, and eventually starts kissing my neck for a good minute or so. Her friends were laughing and cheering a bit in lieu of having something tangible to say. I dropped them off a while later, and that was that. No numbers were exchanged, no extensive flirting, didn't even get anyone's names. The thing is, as much as we don't want to admit or talk about it, there is kind of a double standard of things that we don't make a big deal out of women doing that is sexual or inappropriate, whether it's because men like it when they do, or don't know how to handle it when they don't. In times when it happens, generally speaking, it's not viewed as assault or being creepy. I've had moments where I felt either or. Some instances I do like it and I enjoy it, and some of those instances I react in a way that obliges their coming on to me. Others I've had to leave the room, or whatever function I'm at for the night, and then bring it up later when I'm more collected. Then others, like when I'm literally working. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do in that moment. Gosh, that was a long one. I hope you don't have to go through any more. Do you think old ladies can be weird? Well, let the next one help you decide. Okay, so this is something both me and my brother had happen to us. We are both pretty young, around 20, and we were at some parties where people of all ages were recently. At one party, we had just finished performing with our orchestra and we were still in our uniforms. Then when I was getting some beers, some random lady of over 40 said to me, "Would you like to change clothes? I want to look like I'm in an orchestra." So naturally, I'm like, well, I'd rather not. But she was like, "Oh, please." And she kept on trying to talk to me. On another party, some lady, also over 40, was really seeking attention, started to hold on to my brother by the waist. My brother told me he is really being weirded out by her. She tried to do this multiple times, even after I lured my brother away by pretending I needed to say something to him. I don't really know if this is something a lot of middle-aged ladies do, but them acting like that really weirded me out, and they seem to do this as if it was the most normal thing in the world. There are sweet middle-aged women, and then there are women like that. Perverts can come in all shapes, right? What are the boundaries in a relationship? Well, crossing boundaries are never okay by any person. My ex told me that she and her friends all shared D-pics of her boyfriends with each other. I was aware that they talked about them and like sex and whatnot, but showing pics is way over the line. Once I found that out, the well dried up. I would never show my girlfriend's nudes to my male friends. Not just because that's wrong, but also, selfishly, I don't want them knowing what's going on. I mean, call me a chauvinist if you want, but when I'm in a relationship with someone, I consider my junk theirs and their junk mine, at least when it comes to sharing with third parties. Fair enough. Do you think some behaviors are normalized because of their gender? What would happen if a man did what I'm going to read next? Going to pride events, gay bars, and groping them in whether they like it or not. Like, off, creep. Any act which is done without consent is creepy. How can someone sexualize a child? Like, how? The next one's going to be really disturbing. Grew up a cute kid, not a cute an adult, but oh well, can't win them all. The number of women who would tell my mom when I was in elementary school not just that I was cute, but destined to grow into some sort of sex symbol and break a bunch of hearts was really weird. If you say that shit about little girls, everyone recognizes you as weird as fuck. But for boys, free reign apparently. No kid deserves to hear that. No matter how good looking he or she is, that's not how you appreciate beauty. Is being narcissistic problematic? Of course, yes. Wait till you listen to the next one. Acting like life is a movie and she is the protagonist, it scares me on how women play the victim when they are actually started the fight or when they force men to do romantic things even after they refuse to. You know, being manipulative and living in a fairy tale world. Enjoying life is one thing, being so full of yourself is another. Do you think all of these aren't creepy enough? Well, wait for the last one. When I was in the summer, entering freshman year, I went to a school trip in Puerto Rico. And in my group, there was 3 guys, 13, 14, and 16, and 4 girls, all 15 other than one who was 13. We went to this scuba diving thing where we went to a boat and went out to a huge beach area, and on our way back, the instructors were getting out of their scuba gear. They had shorts under. All the girls were just staring and staring. The other group's leader was making weird-ass comments like, "Oh, I know you want him. Oh my god, I know what's going on in their mind. And worst of all, just make your butt pop out. That will get their attention." To literal early high schoolers. And I told the girls in my group how that stuff makes us uncomfortable. And they said, well, they are hot. And I told them if the roles were reversed and they said, oh, you're overreacting. And yeah, moral of the story, don't stop and stare and make comments and have double standards. Gosh, that was a roller coaster ride. Did you find any of these creepy? Let us know in the comments. Also, give us a comment if you have anything more to add to these stories. Well, that's it for today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more.